The Knicks have played with the lead for the vast majority of the second half, but Marcus Camby, just back from a 5-game suspension, his right ankle turned underneath him with the straight leg, the hyperextension of that knee. Very painful for Marcus Camby. They can ill afford to lose him. They've already playing without Kurt Thomas.
Meanwhile, Glenn Rice misses as he drives to the hoop, and Miami has it down by 4. Grant with a jump stop, and Camby on his back, and Marcus has 5 fouls.
Harrington's got 5 fouls. Larry Johnson's got 4. Allen Houston has 4. Bruce Bowen on the Miami Heat side, he has 5 coming down the stretch.
Now, if you're Marcus Camby and you know you got 4 fouls, why would you go for that fake?
When was the last time you saw Brian Grant come across the lane and actually go straight up with the shot? I don't know if I ever have seen it. Did you say he got a $93 million contract?
Yes, that's why he's playing center, and he's happy about it. Anything less, he didn't want to play center. So Johnson,
what does it matter where you play? What position you play? As long as you're on the court. As long as you're on a good team.
I think you're the same guy that asked the question, why do big guys always try to dribble on the break?
Some of these
and you know, because they never get a chance to.
Playing center is fun. That's a privilege. It's an honor.
Grant rolls in 2. Camby still on the court with 5 fouls. And Childs still at the point.
It's a 2-point game.
Here's Childs, baseline drive. Finds Houston for 3. No good, but Camby has the offensive glass, and they'll set it up again.
Terrific job by Bruce Bowen defensively, running right at Allen Houston and closing out perfectly.
You know, coaches go with who they trust, and Glenn Rice has been terrific, but down the stretch he's going with Sprewell and Houston, and Sprewell misses for the 2nd time in a row.
And then has the steal. Sprewell knocked it away from Hardaway, and Childs has it for New York.
Brian Grant grabbed Larry Johnson's jersey and kept him from the advantage that he had at the transition for New York.
2:40 left in the 4th quarter from Miami.
They got a mismatch. Houston is begging for the ball against Tim Hardaway. Sprewell.
Tough shot. He never squared himself to the rim. Off-balance shot with Eddie Jones in his face.
Phenomenal defense by Eddie Jones. No wonder Pat Riley desperately wanted it.
When he catches it there, you either concede or foul. And Grant rolled it through to tie the game at 91. Grant had him pinned on the hip, takes the contact, and puts it through. And Miami's on a 12-3 run over the last 4.5 minutes. Alonzo Mourning celebrates as the Heat tie it at 91. The NBA on NBC. Welcome back to Miami. What do we say? The Knicks Heat games usually come down to the final possession. We're tied at 91 with 2:21 remaining. New York had a 9-point lead, but Miami has outscored them 12-3 since then. Here's the foul trouble. Camby and Harrington with 5 each. Bowen has 5 for Miami.
And this is where the imaginative and creative offense has to come into play. Who can deliver? They got something going on down here by the Heat bench.
We'd like to send Lewis over to find out what happened, but he's having a pina colada, I think.
Got his sunglasses on. He's talking to the Knicks fans out there on the balcony.
Hopefully somebody didn't pass out, or one of the Heat fans didn't attack one of these Knicks fans. But this has been an intense rivalry, and sometimes it spills over into...
Well, something about you being at a game, Bill. They're ejecting a fan for profane language. Weren't you involved in one of those recently?
No, I don't use profanity.
Well, Bill was at the Allen Iverson game when a fan was heckling him in Indiana. Was it? Might have been Mike Fratello out over there. I don't know.
No, Mike doesn't use profanity.
Lewis, what's happening?
You might not believe this, but Singer-songwriter Jimmy Buffett is over in the crowd there. Take a look if you pan off and you'll see him in the yellow shirt. Apparently he had some words with one of the referees, and the big commotion is that they are trying to throw him out. There was a discussion, I guess, as to how he would go out. There were hands put on him. He began to ask the security officers not to put hands on him, and so he is getting up. You'll see him in the yellow shirt now, and he is being escorted out of American Airlines Arena for mouthing off to the officials.
They're throwing Jimmy Buffett out?
Jimmy Buffett.
That's unbelievable that Jimmy Buffett is getting thrown out.
Saw Joe Forte, the official over there, and apparently Buffett is on his way to the exit. Meanwhile, 2:10 left in the game. Here's Allen Houston spinning on Boeing, can't score. And Anthony Mason has the carom for Miami.
You know, that just puts more fuel to the fire in terms of hatred. You know, the owner, Mickey Johnson, just said, would that happen to Spike Lee? Do any celebrities in New York ever get kicked out? 9 on the clock for Eddie Jones.
Jones drives on Sprewell, got by him, finds Bowen for 3, air ball, and Camby has it for New York.
Eddie Jones should be shooting that ball, and Bruce Bowen should be creating with the penetration.
Again, they're trying to set up a pick and roll situation and then let Sprewell or Houston get it. Sprewell's going to go against Eddie Jones, and he's had a tough time getting the shot away.
Ball away won't go. Tap no good by Camby. And then Mason. Anthony Mason with a double-double, his 22nd of the season. He has 12 rebounds.
Come to Mason down low. See if New York double teams here.
Eddie Jones, quick shot. Rolls no good, but Grant, offensive rebound, brings it down, and they
Timeout.
nearly tie him up. He calls a timeout to save possession for Miami. An even minute left in the game from the American Airlines Arena in Miami. Grant battling on the offensive board. The shot by Jones was a quick shot, maybe not the best, but Grant is there to get the offensive board. Larry Johnson and Marcus Camby scrambling for possession. Grant calls timeout. A minute left in a tie game. Back after this from your local station. Where Jimmy Buffett is on his way to Margaritaville and leaving Tom Hammond, Steve Jones, and Bill Walton with Willis Johnson for the final minute in a tie game.
What is going on here?
New York has only scored 1 field goal in the last 6 minutes and 45 seconds. Here's another timeout taken, a 20-second timeout.
I think they're
30 in college.
20. You know, what happened was Eddie Jones lost control of the ball, and he was trapped in the corner. He knew he was not going to be able to get out, so he called a 22nd. The Knicks get the Miami Heat to burn another timeout, which will be precious here in the final 59 seconds.
Why is it the teams have such trouble even inbounding the ball? Is that good defense or is that bad offense?
It's good defense.
No,
I think it's bad offense. I think it's lack of preparation on the setup.
It's fear, and they don't want to make a mistake. Every time in a close game, players get tentative when they should be more aggressive and certainly more assertive about where they want to
You got to be able to get the ball in down. How can you start the game without even inbounding the ball?
59 seconds left, 91 apiece. Miami last led early in the third quarter.
Where's the offense? Anthony Mason down low. He set the cross screen for him.
Here's Jones. Eddie Jones. Hardaway for 3. Front of the rim, no good. Jones with an offensive rebound, draws the foul. Let's see if it's on Camby or Sprewell. If it's on Camby, it would be 6.
The Knicks' inability.
It's on Sprewell, and that's number 4.
The Knicks' inability to contain Eddie Jones' drives along the baseline have killed all their chances on this critical.
He had hit all 7 of his free throws before then. He scored 21 points.
Having scored here in the fourth quarter of play, he had 5 in the third.
He misses them both.
Remember the Dallas game earlier this week. Right at the end, Eddie Jones misses a free throw that cost him a chance to win it in regulation. They ended up losing it overtime. Miami at Dallas and a New York timeout.
It comes with an even 30 seconds left on the game clock and 14 on the shot clock. And remember, New York has gone 7 minutes without a field goal. 91. Eddie Jones at the line missing 2 free throws, which would have given Miami the lead. Here it is after Miami went the first half hitting all 20 of its free throws. Eddie Jones was 7 for 7 and then missed 2. And it'll be New York's ball.
The offensive brilliance of Sprewell in Houston has to come to the fore right now if New York's going to get this victory.
Well, they got Glenn Rice back in the game to get a chance to shoot the ball, but Childs goes on his own.
Can't hit. Can be.
Timeout. He's calling a timeout.
Did he travel or did he get the timeout? He called a timeout in midair, and he's given the timeout.
Riley is begging for the traveling violation here. They're going to get the last shot here now, New York. But an individual play here by Chris Childs. Now, Childs is normally flawless down the stretch of games. The timeout call while he was in the air, the referees clearly saw it and clearly made the correct call.
That was the 4th offensive rebound for Camby. He has 11 overall.
As far as the Miami Heat go, there's a conspiracy. You know, our stars get kicked out by the officials.
They said that would never happen in New York. That Spike would never get thrown out. And Michael Douglas would never get thrown out.
They say, you know, the guy traveled. The officials can only see New York. So that only adds fuel to this rivalry as there's 18-2 to go, and both teams have gone dead in the water. Getting the ball to Glenn Rice, the guy with the sore foot.
I'd say Allen Houston.
Houston has been struggling here in the second half. He may not even get his hands on the ball.
18.2 on the clock. Tie game. New York inbounds. Chris Childs will trigger it in.
Go with the history of your big shot maker. That's Allen Houston.
Allen Houston against Bowen.
The longer you take, the more the defense sets. Everybody's looking at Allen Houston. He gets by.
Pull up is no good. Grant hauls it down, and they call timeout with 3.5 left. Well, remember the playoffs. Allen Houston got the last shot. He rolled it in to eliminate Miami 2 years ago in Game 5.
But we also remember last year in the regular season right here in this building with Tim Hardaway. This was today's shot, though, up against the shot clock. Allen Houston loves to go left off his dribble, a little bit off balance. The lean shot won't go, and Brian Grant in flawless position.
So much for history.
Well, the last time, Bill, you mentioned it, that these two teams played in the regular season here. It was April 9th of last season when Tim Hardaway's three-pointer at the buzzer in overtime gave the Heat this dramatic 95-94 win over the Knicks. Here it is again. Tim Hardaway with Childs all over him. Got the game-winning three-pointer. And here's Hardaway now. Will it be another Hardaway shot that wins it?
Well, remember what Pat Riley told us yesterday. I've got to get Eddie Jones to finish games for me. He is the guy that can drive it and kick it, and they don't have a lot of time, but he can put a lot of pressure on the defense just by going to the bucket and finding out whether the officials are going to put him back on the line to give him a second chance to win it.
There's a lot of time, but the confidence that Eddie Jones is searching for. Eddie went to that timeout pulling his hair out after missing the two free throws. I think you drive it in a couple times and then pass it off for the quick three-pointer either from Marley or from Tim Hardaway.
A couple of times, there's 3.5 seconds left.
You're playing at home. The clock won't even start until the shot is taken.
New York has just a field goal and a free throw in the last 7 minutes, 45 seconds. And Miami with a chance to win it. Here's the pass to Anthony Mason. Block shot, and we're headed to overtime.
How unusual. The ball in the air for the win as the buzzer goes off. Overtime. We love it.
Vintage New York, Miami basketball. We're headed to overtime, tied at 91. Mason was the man that got the final look, and Camby with the block shot.
How many blocks for Marcus Camby today?
3.
Thank you.
Thank time zone. We're headed to OT in Miami. right, Marv, we're ready for overtime, tied at 91. New York, 4 of 17 in the fourth quarter, 24% shooting after hitting 56% through the first 3 quarters. And just 1 field goal, 1 free throw the last 7:45, and yet Miami couldn't close it out. Eddie Jones missed 2 free throws that potentially could have won it for Miami.
Foul trouble will be critical in overtime. A lot of players saddled with 5.
Glenn Rice is back out on the floor, and Allen Houston sits down. Mason starts the scoring off.
Hardaway made it happen with a penetration and the dish, and Anthony Mason has 19.
It started on the wing. 3 guys handling the ball that time.
First Miami lead since early in the third quarter when they were up 54-53.
You keep talking about Glenn Rice. He's been out there for an eternity, and he hasn't smelled a touch.
Ward for 3. Charlie Ward.
Where's he been?
Exactly, on the
same place,
on the bench. And he has 19 points, Charlie Ward.
But Eddie Jones.
Not a good shot.
And Ward has the rebound. Charlie Ward having one of his biggest offensive games of the season, nearly lost it.
But a beautiful tap out by Ward.
Well, now Rice has got Hardaway on him, and really should have just taken him on his own. That gets Bowen back in the switch, and they wanted to try to get the ball to him. 5 on the clock.
2 to shoot. Rice lets it fly.
Bad possession. They tried for the mismatch as opposed to just a good quick hitting play.
Hardaway throws it away, and Eddie Jones with a foul of Sprewell.
They're going to call, I think, a clear path foul on Eddie Jones. 1 shot and possession because Sprewell was gone.
It's also 5 fouls on Eddie Jones.
Jumping in the air to pass, the cardinal sin of the point guard or anybody. Eddie Jones forced to just grab him, but now New York has a chance to put themselves in a comfortable position where they can capitalize here with possession after the made free throw by Sprewell.
Well, the comfortable position for either one of these teams is the lead and in the locker room. I mean, you know, when the Knicks had that 9-point lead, they were playing, they were grooving, and suddenly went stone cold and let the Heat tie it up. Coming back to Sprewell.
Turns and fires. Eddie Jones fouled him. Jones with a foul, and that is his 6th foul. Eddie Jones had just fouled out of the game.
Well, the lack of depth for Miami coming into play at Riley. Where does he go now? Easy play to call.
Eddie Jones has scored 21 points in the game, but did not score in the fourth quarter or overtime and missed 2 crucial free throws.
Now that one's going to sting. So you go back to Dallas and the free throw missed there. You come here to this ball game, and now you foul out, and there's nothing you can do but just sit and brood.
And that's exactly what Eddie Jones is doing on the Miami bench. Sprewell looking to hit 3 free throws consecutively, and he does.
Well, we've all been where Eddie Jones is right now, and it's a horrendous feeling. It's the kind of thing that stays with you literally the rest of your life.
4-point New York lead.
But if he doesn't stay with you, your friends are going to bring it up.
Bowen hits a long-range 2. Bruce Bowen has scored 11.
Bowen has come up with some big shots at timely moments when it looked like they were going to fall out of it. Bowen steps in, makes a 3 or 2, keep the game close.
And now he's got the responsibility of slowing down Sprewell.
You got to drive Bowen, though. There's no way that he can stick and stay if you just put the ball on the floor and go past him. Sprewell.
Up and under, and Canby with a follow.
The inability to control your defensive backboard down the stretch.
8 points, 13 rebounds for Marcus Canby.
I thought you said that about the Knicks.
Grant right underneath, missed it. And Ward has it for New York.
Van Gundy calling for the fast break here while the Heat are disorganized.
And they got it with Larry Johnson from Charlie Ward.
And now Latrell Sprewell going at it.
It looks like Larry Johnson is ailing.
Latrell Sprewell has to go underneath Bruce Bowen, and nobody puts any sort of contact whatsoever on Marcus Camby. And then the next possession, transition basketball after the great defense. Larry Johnson able to finish it off.
And New York in control, 101-95.
You're looking at Kobe Bryant, who is trying to get his Laker teammates involved. We welcome you back to Los Angeles. Marv Albert, we've got about 3 minutes remaining in this first quarter. And the Lakers with a 21-16 lead on the Los Angeles Kings. Shaquille O'Neal sitting out once again as Chris Webber looking for points 7 and 8. But the story, Rick Foster subbing for the injured Shaq, season high 9 points along with 5 rebounds and 2 assists. We'll have it all for you following the Knicks and Miami. It's back to Tom.
All right, Marv, and the New York Knicks, who scored just 3 points in the final 7 minutes 45 seconds of regulation, have exploded for 10 points in less than 3 minutes of overtime.
Tim Hardaway and Dan Marley time from three-point land.
Bowen gets it into Mason against Camby, up and in.
Mason pushes off and gets away with it, but a good decision by Camby not to try to get that one. There's plenty of time for the Miami Heat to get back in the game. They're only down 4, just under 2 minutes to play.
Well, there's plenty of time to get the double overtime.
Sprewell got a chance to foul out Eddie Jones with a quick move, trying another quick move and gets nothing but air against Bowen.
So Miami with the ball, trailing by 4. With a minute 22 in overtime.
Van Gundy's up, you know what he's saying? Don't leave the three-point shooters, but Miami should be thinking about a quick 2. That would make it a 2-point game. Hardaway travels.
How's that not stepped?
Well, he made it. No call. He stepped under and got his 16th point of the game. As we come to the 1-minute mark, New York's lead is cut to 2. Timeout, Knicks.
So much for the conspiracy against Miami.
Well, you can't convince Mickey Arnton, the owner, that they're not.
Tim Hardaway.
Take a look at Hardaway. That's all kind of traveling there.
Pick a pivot foot.
It's a 2-point game in OT. Moments ago, New York led by 6. Now with a minute 6 left in overtime, the lead is only 2. 101-99 New York ball.
The Knicks have called a timeout. Van Gundy wanted to get a good play this time. They've gone to Sprewell, but let's see if they come back to Glenn Rice.
There it is. Rice has the ball. Marley right with him. Sprewell with 8 to shoot. Now Rice again. Fall away shot. No good. Mason the rebound.
Where's Allen Houston? He didn't foul out, did he?
No, but he's had a long dry spell. And he's on the bench. Here's Hardaway for 3. Back rim to Sprewell.
Van Gundy with the 4-down play to cross to the big man up top and roll it up high to Latrell Sprewell and let him go.
Johnson with a screen for Sprewell. Now LJ launches a 3. No good. And Miami has it back. Bowen to Hardaway. Timeout. Heat with 14 seconds left in overtime.
Larry Johnson had a great look at it, and so many huge threes from Johnson over the years.
That was not a free flowing shot from Larry Johnson.
He was surprised that he was that wide open.
He hesitated initially, and then he decided to pull the trigger on it. And all you need in a game like that is that much tension, and you're not going to get the shot to drop. He instead dared folded over, jackknife at midcourt after the shot was missed and the timeout was called. But you'll see he catches.
Tension doesn't bother Larry Johnson.
They did.
No, that wasn't tension. Maybe the run out by Brian Grant, maybe the flecks of red at the end of Brian Grant's hair would have distracted him, as the sun would be glistening in your eyes if you're playing outdoors.
So it comes down to the final possession, and they put the pressure on the officials. And let's be fair to the officials. No, they have missed calls on both ends of the floor at critical times to bring us to this situation. If I'm Pat Riley, I'm thinking drive the ball and get a call. get a call and get to the free throw line. If you pull a shot from the outside, you're probably not going to get the rebound, and we're going to go into another overtime.
So if you're the New York,
the game will be over.
If you're the New York Knicks, you defend the basket as opposed to pushing up on the perimeter shot, anticipating that the Heat are going to try to get all the way to the hoop here, because the Heat are playing to get to another overtime. They're not going for the 3 here to win it.
Of course, you remember last possession when you figured they would work for a 2 to tie it. Hardaway launched a quick 3. Go figure, huh?
Well, no, that was after the famous heat check that Bill likes to talk about. So he wanted to make sure that he was still on the planet. Chris Childs is going to come in the ball game, replacing Glenn Rice.
So Childs will be matched up with Marley. And Charlie Ward on Tim Hardaway, but it'll be Mason handling the ball.
Mason at the point forward. Finds Tim Hardaway for 3. An air ball to Bowen, who is fouled, but he can't get it down, but he'll go to the free throw line.
Things just get stranger and stranger.
Curiouser and curiouser.
Thank you.
Well, you know, again, they go to Hardaway because he's a big moment player for. He's had a lot of big threes on a poor shooting day. They thought he had one more big 3 in him, and the miss came right into the hands of Bowen. And now we'll find out whether Bowen can take the Heat.
Well, he's made some big shots, as you said. This is his first trip to the free throw line, and Bruce is only a 66% free throw shooter.
He cannot.
Oh, not even close.
Take the Heat.
Now you have to miss this one.
Glenn Rice returns for New York.
Well, you don't have to miss it. You got to make it.
You want to win, you have to miss it.
Well, no. If he makes it and then they try for a steal and get a quick foul, they will still have another possession and a chance to tie. Look at Sprewell, face guarding Marley.
Miami started the game hitting 30 of 33 free throws. They missed their last 3. Second one good. 4.4 seconds in OT.
Now you got to try for a steal here if you're.
And there it is with 3.7 seconds, and Mason and Johnson square off.
Not good at all.
And Jeff Van Gundy's right in the middle of it again.
Van Gundy is saying to all the guys on the bench, get back over to the bench. And Mason and Larry Johnson.
What is Anthony Mason thinking?
And Larry Johnson still pointing at Mason, and Mason starts to come after him again. Kevin O'Neal and Jeff Van Gundy trying to restrain Larry Johnson, and none of the Heat people left the bench.
Remember what Mason told us yesterday. I want to beat everybody.
Yep.
You know, and he knew he was going to have to give a foul. Gave him a little extra pork chapel shot.
I thought, though, Jeff Van Gundy told us he wasn't going to get in the middle of anybody anymore.
Shades of the I can't take it anymore game. Now, the ball.
There's the one shot and then another one. And the official, Michael Smith, is right in there.
So they're going to, what they're going to call a technical on Mason for instigating that.
Last Heat foul number 14, Anthony Mason. That's his 4th first in the last 2 minutes.
That was the
just
first
a personal foul. Just a personal one.
In the last 2 minutes, so it will not be a shooting foul.
3.7 seconds. New York ball. They lead by 1.
If you're Allen Houston, take off. I mean, everybody's looking for. They got too many people down here. If he goes to the other end of the floor, they got a chance to throw it long and score.
Charlie Ward is an outstanding inbound passer in these situations.
It's that quarterback. He looks long for Rice. Instead, he'll call timeout to prevent a turnover.
Ran a bad pattern. It was good. Should have run it out, and he ran in.
They had the bump and run on defense.
I'd like to see him do away with this rule too.
Which one?
That you can't call timeout when you're out of bounds to save possession. The refs hand you the ball, and you got 5 seconds to get it in.
Well, 3.7 seconds remain in overtime with New York leading Miami by 1, and the Knicks do not have a timeout left. Miami with 1 full remaining.
Everybody was running back toward the Miami basket. Charlie Ward didn't have any good options. Anything, just throw it ahead the other way.
All right, I'm stunned by your suggestion, because if they eliminate this rule, what will we get?
Action.
Better play from.
You get better preparation of guys lining up properly to inbound the ball.
Sacramento
more aggressive offense.
has closed within 10 of the Lakers. And we'll be going to that game with the conclusion of this one with 3.7 seconds left in overtime. And Dan Marley and the Heat listening to their coach, Pat Riley.
What is a Heat game without controversy?
They threw Jimmy Buffett out.
That's right.
We knew it was going to be.
Without some sort of physical confrontation and last-second play. So now they're going to walk the ball up to midcourt, which will make it a little bit tougher because now.
But they can still throw it into the backcourt here with the new rules.
Right, new rule allows you to throw it into backcourt. And by the way, during that altercation, the square-off between Mason and Johnson, neither team had players leave the bench, so no suspensions will be upcoming. And we have 3.7 seconds.
Whatever happens here, don't throw something back toward the Miami Heat basket if you're Charlie Ward.
Ward's pretty savvy. Now they're backing the fans off the baseline. Here we go. And a quick toss to Rice, and he laid it in.
Riley says timeout. He cannot believe the breakdown defensively.
Well, that was what we were calling for. And Rice with a quick move to the basket, and Ward hit him in stride just like his quarterback days.
There was no pressure on the ball whatsoever. Marley gets burned for the back door. Now the Heat in a world of trouble.
Here it is, Ward to Rice. Touchdown.
But think about this. Whenever you have players lined up like that and they're all bunched up, they're thinking about the ball going back. And the Knicks played it right on the money. And now they'll have to come back with a three-point shot.
NBA All-Star. 2.3 seconds left in overtime. 103-100 New York. Eddie House in the Miami lineup for the first time in the game.
If you're New York, foul right here. Make Miami only get 2 shots.
House for 3 off the bench. No good. Game over. New York wins in overtime. House got an open look at it.
You know, he was just a little bit too anxious to be the hero. They've only been sitting for 3 hours. He hasn't got the ball.
Well, this guy's got a 61-point game to his credit. The rookie, Arizona State. Second-round draft choice for Pat Riley's Heat.
Are you surprised he got such an open shot?
Absolutely.
Well, like there was a breakdown at the other end of the floor on the 2-point possession by the New York Knicks, which gave them the lead. There was a breakdown defensively by the New York Knicks, and the reaction from the Heat.
Cedric Ceballos just ecstatic there. Alonzo Mourning cannot believe the improbable turn of events. The missed free throws just took away any chance here. A great look. Dallas won a game like this, and they came back, and Orlando failed to foul down the stretch.
Well, Eddie Jones had a couple of free throws that potentially could have won it for Miami. He misses, and New York wins 103-100 in overtime behind 29 points from Glenn Rice. For Steve Jones, Bill Walton, and Lewis Johnson, Tom Hammond saying so long from Miami. Is sending out a Game 2 of our NBA on NBC doubleheader. The Kings and the Lakers, and the man calling the game, Marv Albert. Marv?